Good evening, and welcome to Believe in the Journey podcast. Listen, I am stepping in tonight for my podcast sister, Miss Patrice Grimble. She is out in the cold with with their daughter doing the Christmas parade. So y'all pray for them while they out there giving some holiday cheer to each and every person that is out there bearing the colds, because I can't do it. She is much better than me, and I'm so glad my kids are older now that I don't have to be at the parade, but I do got some grands. But anyway, thank you guys for tuning in tonight. I'm not going to be before you long. I promise you. I am a little under the weather myself, but God willing and God provides the strength that I need. So if you hear me barking like a little dog, it's just a cough. So excuse that. Okay. All right. But before we do anything, we're going to go to God in prayer, and then we're going to talk to my big sister and mentor, Miss Angela Smith, and we're going to see what she's been up to besides helping us be the greatest that we are. All right. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us together as you do each and every night as we come before you. Let the words of my mouth be humbling to the ears that need to hear, and let anything that I say touch them in the way that you see fit. I love you and I adore you, and I thank you for everything that you have done for me and my family, keeping us safe and protected, and keeping the ones that are connected to us, providing the strength and everything that they need to get through each and everything that they are facing, because there's nothing that you don't know that we are going through that you cannot handle. So we just need to take our hands off of it and leave it in your hands, because only you can do what you can do. In your precious and holy name, Jesus, I pray. Amen. Excuse me, y'all. That's the little dog that I keep telling y'all is going to be barking. So, but please come on up, Queen Sister. Hey,
Hey,
girl. How are you?
I'm good.
You laughing at me talking about my little doggy? This cough I got sounds like a dog. I swear it does.
Probably sound like Angel back there.
This cough, I swear, has been kicking my butt for about a week. And I've gone to the doctor. They gave me some cough medicine. I couldn't take that cough medicine and do the show tonight because I'd be somewhere in the corner asleep. So I made sure that I did not take that, but I took the other one. So hopefully it won't ruin the show tonight. But I don't really have a topic of discussion tonight, but I do want to talk briefly about grief during the holidays. Because, you know, a lot of us have lost loved ones this year and even last year. And going through the holidays is a tough time because you're missing those loved ones in a way that is a little different, but you want to remember them.
Right.
Um, and I'm missing my mom today. Something happened earlier today, and my mom loved to be outside. She loved to be outside during the cold, and I was coming back in the house, and I thought I closed the door all the way, but as soon as I got halfway through the living room, the door swung back open, and I'm like, okay, look here, mom. Today is not the day. It's too cold for me to be in this air. So we gonna close this door. I'm going over here and sit down, but I'll open the window for you. But we not doing this. But I was also in the car, and it's a conversation that I recorded with my mama. And as I was listening to my music, her voice came on. And I'm like, okay, what is it that you're trying to tell me today? Because you have really been on me. So I think grief during the holidays is one of the toughest times. How do you feel about that?
Wow. And that you pick a topic like that for today. Today is actually my cousin's birthday.
Um,
Um, he's been gone I think 2, 3 years now. He was like my
Mhm.
big brother. He was like my first cousin. I remember the last time I saw him here in Atlanta.
Mhm.
Um, we were out at the park. We always did the park thing. People always said that either they thought we were boyfriend and girlfriend, or either they thought we were siblings.
Okay.
Those are the two things that we often got confused as. So today was one of those days, and this month alone is rough for me because my mom's birthday was December 4th,
Mhm.
um, and it just be hard.
Yeah.
But I thank God for His word. I thank Him because I look back over, growing up, and how my mom made sure that I was I was rooted and grounded in the word.
Right.
Even if she didn't go to church, she would send me to church. And it's like my mom was preparing me for those days that she was not going to be here. Because
Right.
oftentimes I remember conversations that she and I would have, and I would be like, why are we having conversations like this? I was like 9, 10, and 11. Remind you, I lost my mom 12 days after my 16th birthday. So
Mhm.
at 9, 10, and 11, we having these conversations that, you know, I'm like, okay, a lot of this was going over my head. But now that I look back, I thank God that He prepared my mom enough to prepare me for those days that she would not be here.
Yeah.
So having those memories, having those things that I can carry on. Oftentimes God would drop things in my spirit through a book, and it would be something that my mom shared with me, and I'm able to share that with somebody. You know, it's keeping those memories alive and those things. I was telling Shanette because oftentimes, Shanette and I often talk about grief because she lost her son.
Yeah.
Um, I've been around a lot of people that have lost loved ones, and I thank God for our prayer line because
Mhm.
that has really been a strength, a source of strength for us, um, to be able to go on and lift each other up, and just call out each other names, and just know that we have someone else that's going through similar things.
Yeah.
So that's how I deal. I work. I keep pressing. I try to remember the good times, and I try to create um stuff that will keep their memory alive. Like my brother just passed. The 22nd of this month would be 60 days,
Mhm.
and his birthday was October the 8th. And I wanted to keep his memory alive. So I did a magazine. I
Mhm.
honored him in a magazine. I honored him inside a book that I published. So it's ways that you can keep their memory alive, because we also have to remember the word.
Yeah.
And we also have to understand that energy and spirit never dies,
Right.
that our loved ones are still here. They may not be here physically. We may not be able to physically touch them. We may not be able to physically hear them, but they still communicate to us. They they
Yeah.
they still are very much alive, and we have to keep those memories alive.
Yeah.
So Triveda, I know you lost your mom, and that was my friend. That was
Yeah.
my purple lip friend. Um, what are some of the things that you have done to try to keep her memory alive? Because I tell you, she impact our lives so much in such a short time. You would think that she had been a part of my life for a while. Um, and I thank God for the time that we did have with her. So if you would share a little bit about my friend Afridia.
Well, one thing I can say that I do to keep my mom's memory alive, and that is her silliness, her laughter. It was very contagious because my mama, she was definitely she would find a way to joke even in the serious of moments. And I'm like, "Ma, we supposed to be being serious right now." And her favorite thing to say, and excuse the language, but her favorite thing to say was always anytime I was feeling down or whatever. And she would say, "Well, shit happens." And I'm like, "Yeah, mama, I do. I know it does." So whenever I'm feeling, overwhelmed with anything that I can't handle, I always refer back to that and be like, "Yeah, okay. This is one of those moments where it happens and I just have to go with the flow." But I like you were saying about how our moms were teaching us things before we realized what they were teaching us. And I didn't realize my mom was teaching me a lot about life without her and how to live without her long before I realized I was going to have to actually do that. Because as a little girl, it was always, you know, I would have her for a good 3 to 6 months and then she'd disappear, and then she'd come back, and then I would have her again for the same amount of time. And then as I got older and she moved in with me and my kid's father, my ex-husband now, and she would live with us and my kids got used to her and so on and so forth. And my mom, I'm a little upset with her for one little thing though, and that is she took that fried chicken recipe with her to the grave. She did not share that chicken recipe. And even my daughter tried to get it out of her and she was like, "Nope, I'm not telling y'all what my recipe is." And so um it's a story of her and my my youngest son. I deal with Chiari malformation, and my mom had a stroke in 2014. And I was, trying to take care of her and take care of my son and take care of myself at the same time. And so my mom was like, "Okay, you're tired. Go lay down. Go take you a nap." And I'm like, "Okay, well, you and Nathan don't do anything while I'm going to take me a nap." Well, I'm in there taking a nap. I smell potatoes and onions. So I get up and Nathan is probably about 9 or 10 at this time. And I'm like, "Why am I smelling potatoes and onions?" So I get up. My mom had finally gotten enough strength to where she could use her left side because the stroke had done a number on her right side, which was my mom's dominant side. So she had got herself to the kitchen to peel these potatoes and slice these onions. And my son is standing beside her and they looking at me like I'm in the wrong spot. And I'm like, "What are y'all doing?" And they're like, "Well, we fixing some potatoes and onions." And I'm like, "Okay, but who cut the potatoes?" And my son looking at my mama, and I'm like, "Don't look at her." And he looking at, and she looking at him, and she like, "Don't say nothing, don't say nothing." And I'm like, "Okay, who did it?" And they like, "Well, okay, collectively we got it done, and you supposed to be taking a nap." I said, "I was taking a nap, but you two in the kitchen doing something you not supposed to be doing. What are y'all doing? Just go back and lay down." So, needless to say, them two could not be trusted alone. And that's one of the things that even before my mom left her and everything, her and Nathan would have a conversation about me. They would always get together and say, "Okay, well, your mama don't listen, or your daughter don't listen." And I'm like, "I'm right here. I hear both of y'all talking about me." They're like, "Yeah, we know. You just don't, you hard headed, you don't listen." So that's one way that I really and truly keep my mom's memory alive, because my son is always, he's like, Granny wouldn't like you over here doing all this whining and crying. But if you need to get it out, you get it out. But she gonna tell you, shut it up. So, but one other thing I can say that I have that is coming up, I am writing a book in in memory of my mom. And it is called From Fractured to Fulfilled: The Healing Journey with My Mom. And it will be released on her birthday, which is July the 5th. So I'm going to honor her in that. And when I tell you, it has taken me back. So that's one of the things that, You don't realize how many memories you have of a person until you're going through and you're writing those things down. And a lot of those things were not very good things, but at the same time, it helped me to heal even more in places where I thought I had healed, you know. But my mama was a riot. If you met her, you would fall in love with her. She did not meet a stranger in any capacity. Um, that lady
No,
is
she
just something else. She did not meet no stranger.
did not. I tell you, I remember we were just going season one of the Crew podcast, and
Yep.
we were training. We were doing training, and we were meeting. And when I tell you, she would come on, and y'all know how I like to. Sometimes I like to be off screen because ain't no
Oh,
telling
she
what
wasn't
could go
having
down.
it.
Oh no, she was not having that. If I came in her presence, she to see. Like she wanted to see the purple lips. That was my purple lip friend. Again, Triveda, I thank you for sharing her with us because you didn't have to. You shared her with us. She got an opportunity to not just come on and support you, but she got an opportunity to host her own show and to be her own voice. And
Yeah.
that's something that we're gonna have and cherish forever because it's archived, and we're gonna be able to have that, and that is a memory that can never be taken away. So I'm just so glad that I have that memory and was able to be a part of that. I tell you, those evenings on that podcast with her was amazing. You know, even those journeys when she going out to the little shed little thing when she go out and sit up under the little what's the
Yeah.
name, even the phone calls that I was able to have with her, that
Yes.
time it impact. So I thank God for the
Yeah.
time that I had with her. So thank you for sharing her with us.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. It was crazy. It was that those stories of going to visit her. I was taking her outside one day, and me and the boys were taking her outside, and Lord, I was like, okay, mom, we're almost outside. I was like, but hold on, I gotta go to the bathroom. She talk about, well, if you had a diaper on, we wouldn't be stopping at the bathroom. So, you wasting my time. I'm ready to go outside and I gotta stop and wait for you. You need a diaper.
See, look, if it came up, it had to come out.
It did.
She was not holding it back. Again, I the laughter, the memories, seeing you guys post on the different social media, and those videos, just seeing the laughter and just being able to see those memories, that's just amazing. A lot of us, we don't get to have that conversation. We don't
Yeah,
get to
she loves Snapchat. That was one of her favorite things to do. She
right,
called it the chap snap or something. It was never Snapchat like it was supposed to be. And she
right,
like, come on, we got to do them faces. Put the face on there. Okay, mama, we gonna put the face on there. We gonna do that. But that
right,
lady, she loved to laugh. She loved to be silly. There was never a moment where she wasn't being silly at all. And I'm like, Mom, we supposed to be, whining and crying, because this is the situation. She talking about, child, ain't nobody got time to be doing all that. I can cry later.
right,
And I'm
right,
like, you absolutely right. So I'm gonna cry when you go to sleep, though. I'm gonna go ahead and do that when you sleeping. And so she was like, I'm gonna hear you anyway. So you might as well just go and let your little tears out while I can see you. All right, I'm gonna let them out, but you ain't gonna be telling me to be quiet neither. I'm gonna get my tears in. My brother came to visit one time, and this was the week that she passed, and my brother was in there trying to sing, and She she looked up. She was sleeping now, so he over there trying to sing. My mama looked up. She say, who sing that song?" And he said, "Okay, let them do it, cause that ain't it." I said,
Wow.
"Mom, that's not nice." She talk about, uh, that's not it. I said, "Well, you don't never tell me to be quiet." She talk about, "Cause you on the right note. I don't know what he's singing, and that's not good." I said, "Okay, all right."
And
I
that's
said
us.
that. I said, Mama said, "Be quiet." Mama said, "Let him sing the song." She said, "Cause you not doing it right."
And that sound like the good sense subversion.
Yeah, and that
I'm
was
surprised she didn't say, let whoever have that song.
yeah, cause she always got some exploratives in there, some sentence enhancers. She would always have a couple of those in there.
I'm telling you, every time I look at that replay, that video of her, I laugh. Like, she is so funny. Like, I'm so glad that we were able to capture that. And that's what I tell people. It is so important to capture memories,
Memories, yep.
to
I
create
can
memories.
tell you before her show, she did her show on telepathy. I
Mhm.
will tell you, let me tell you the behind the scenes of this because I don't know if I ever told you what happened behind the scenes. Okay, because we asked her if she wanted to do her show live, and she was like, she wanted to do it live. She didn't want to do it pre recorded. So I got up there early. I had done her hair the night before. It didn't turn out how I wanted it to turn out. So she was a little salty about that. But it was about 5 o'clock and she was in a lot of pain. And I was like, well, Mom, we can, postpone your show or we can, just go ahead and record it now. Well, we'll see how I feel in a little while. What time you say it start? I said at 8 o'clock. Okay, well, I'll let you know then. Okay, fine. So she could only wear one earring. So I had to put her earring in, and then she had to have her lipstick on. So I put her lipstick on and everything, and we get ready for the show. And I'm like, oh my God, y'all, please don't let my mama go off script. Let her, do what she need to do because my mom can go left real quick. And I'm like, let's I think she got it. I don't know. And then the topic that she wanted to talk about was one that I wasn't quite familiar with and everything. And so she surprised me. She really did. She surprised me with the knowledge that she had about telepathy and how it worked and all of that. But as soon as that show went off, she said, "All right, take this shit off me." And I'm like, "What?" And she was like, "I said, you the one wanted this earring on and this lipstick." She talking about, "Yeah, the show is over. Take this shit off." Yes, ma'am. So I had to take her earring off, take her lipstick off, and she laid down in the bed. She said, "Okay, all right, now you got to get home because it's dark outside, and I need you to get home safe." Yes, ma'am. She said, "So you go ahead and give me my kiss, and you go ahead and get home, and you call me when you get home so you can get your butt in that bed." So I'm like, Lord, I said, you the one wanted this lipstick and this earring on, and now you fussing at me to hurry up and take it off. She talking about, yeah, the camera off now. We good. We can go and take this off. So that's
Wow.
what happened. As soon as that camera went off and I logged out, she was ready to take that off. But you would have never known that she was in a lot of pain because she didn't perceive to show any of that at all.
Right.
So that's where I get my strength and everything from with that lady right there. She was one of a kind.
I tell you, this life is full of lessons. This journey, in everything, there's a lesson. And
Yep.
I tell you, you found out where you get your strength from. You found
Mm-hmm.
out a lot of different things in your mother's transitioning.
Yeah.
You learned a lot that you did not know. Like, a lot of us don't get that opportunity. Like, I didn't get the opportunity with my brother.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know how sometimes you just think that you're gonna have a little longer. You're
Yeah.
just gonna have a little longer, and that was my case with my brother. My oldest brother, I was okay with his transitioning because my brother was a quadriplegic
Okay.
and he was paralyzed for over 20 years in that journey, and I knew what that had been like. So that one was different for me.
Mhm.
Every loss that I've had has been different, and people ask how do and I look back now, I see how I got my strength from. I got it from my mom because I every time my mom was sick, I didn't know she was sick. I thought that, she was going on a trip.
Mhm.
My mom had lupus and she suffered bad and I didn't know. You know, I didn't know that my mom almost lost her own life when she gave birth to me. I didn't know. Like,
Mhm.
I learned a lot in losing my mom about my own journey,
Mhm. Mhm.
and I didn't know, all the things that my mom had suffered through.
Mhm.
So, being able to spend time with her and being there with her and that journey, I thank God for my PE teacher because my PE teacher, she she saw something in me and put me on the basketball team. And this same lady was in place when my mom transitioned. This lady would drive her own personal car to the games so that after the game, she could drive me to the hospital to be with my mom.
Mhm.
You don't find people like that. Like,
No.
God knows what you need when you need it and how you need it. Like, He knew that I was gonna need that lady in my life. Like, I never thought I was who me play basketball. I was gonna be playing on basketball, girl. Like, all my friends, my cousin, everybody was going out. They tried out for the basketball team, and my PE teacher was like, "You need to play basketball." She put me on the JV team. Every time I touched the ball, they would blow the whistle. That's how much I knew about basketball. Like, when I tell people now that CP3 is my cousin, they be like, "Who? CP3? Your cousin?" Yeah. See, his great grandmother and my great grandfather are brothers and sisters, so that make us cousins.
Mhm.
So when I tell people that, they be like, "And you couldn't dribble back then?" Nope, I couldn't. I never thought I was playing basketball, never. But that lady saw something in me. Monica Denise Davis saw something in me. She had the JV coach put me on the JV team. After JV season, I moved to varsity. Yeah, she moved me to varsity. My ninth grade year, y'all, I was starting. The lady saw something in me.
And
I
that's
ended
all
up
it takes.
exactly. That's why when y'all be like, that's what I get that from because that lady instilled so much in me, and now I can't help but see the gifts and the talents within people. And I be
Mhm.
wanting to pull them out. I be wanting to pull them out. Sometimes
Well, you
I may
do. You do.
it may seem like I may be overbearing. If I see something in you, and I don't like for people to take advantage of people. That's one of my things. I don't like that.
Yeah.
And I will, man, I'm telling you, I go to bat for that. That's one of my like
Definitely you will, because I
I
know,
don't like
man.
I don't like for people to take advantage of people. I don't like for I just don't like that. I believe that, God has given us all gifts and talents.
Mhm.
He's
I
given us
mean, you
all
have really stretched us beyond what we even thought was possible for ourselves. I met you almost 3 years ago now, doing the virtual monologue, the mask behind the mask, and
almost 4 years now because
oh yeah,
Cheryl, yeah, Cheryl was a part of that. And I remember when
yes,
she got diagnosed with breast cancer.
yeah.
She yeah, so
And the
we
part that she played, oh my gosh. You don't understand, like, that play has so many significant things in it. Um, just from me playing the part that I played. I don't know if you know, there was another person that was supposed to play that part, Mrs. Motivation. And the part that I had was playing basically like a mean girl or whatever to Melanie's character. And I prayed. I was like, God, I'm not even in that space in my life to be mean to anybody. So this character of being mean to somebody is not sitting well with me. And I'm not sure how I can do that. And so next thing I know, Sheena, she sends me a message and asks if I would play the part of Motivation, because the lady who was doing it had dropped out. And I was like, okay, that seems more of my speed. And then also, that part did not have any speaking parts in it at all. So I was like, okay. And so then when we were doing the rehearsal, they were like, you're going to have to come up with something that's going to make your part last for the 5 minutes that it needs to. And I'm like, Lord, it didn't have any speaking parts. So now I got to speak. I got to say something. I don't know what to do. And so I'm like, I prayed about it. I prayed that I couldn't be a mean girl. And then it's like, okay, well, you prayed that you couldn't be a mean girl. So now you got another part because I answered the prayer. But I said, okay, yeah, God, you did answer the prayer, but now you got me talking, and I wasn't planning on talking. But this does fit my personality of being a motivator to motivate people into doing stuff. But okay, all right, now I got to figure this out. So figure that
And
part
then
out.
we all had to play Mean Girl, because remember
Yes,
we all had to go in and do different little parts of being mean.
yes, the little
Um,
voice part, like who she
yeah,
thinks she is, why she got that makeup on. It was like, okay. So it pulled something out, but it wasn't as bad as, because I'm like, that's all it is. And I'm like, God, I'm not even in that
right,
space to be that to anybody, because I know what that feels like. And I was like, I'm not in that space no more. So
right,
God definitely will put you in places and positions to where he's going to utilize the talents that you have to help bring you to where he wants you to be. And
right.
me, oh Lord, I'm still that little shy girl in the back. Sometimes, not as much as I used to be. So it's like I'm getting out of that little comfort zone that I call my safety net of being in the back, but being more in the forefront, because nobody believes that I'm shy anyway. So it's just one of those things. It's like a thing that I say to myself, and everybody's like, yeah, shy where, when, how? Because it's not possible for you to be shy. I'm like my mama. I don't meet a stranger either. And people come up and tell me their stories at the grocery store. I might just be speaking in passing. And here goes somebody telling me what they've been through and what they've been going through. And I always have a positive word, because I know where God has brought me from and what he does for me
Right.
each and every day. And so I think that's mostly what people see when they're able to come to me. They find a sense of safety. And I'm going to glorify God in everything that I do, because if it was not for him, I would not be where I'm at, you know,
Boy.
because I could be dead and gone a long time ago, because
Woo.
man had
Jesus.
counted me out after I
I
had my
know.
stroke. Not once, but twice.
Right,
They man counted me out. But God said, you still got work to do. So I'm gonna need you to get this together, because I lost my speech. I couldn't talk.
right.
And I prayed and I asked God. I said, I don't know, because man keeps telling me there's nothing that's going on, but you and I both know that I'm not able to speak and I'm not able to do what it is that I need to do. So you got to help me. And he helped me get my speech back. And so I don't have that deficit, of not being able to speak. And so I utilize my voice to magnify him. And anybody who's listening knows that I know God on a personal level. So I know some days he be like, look here, you don't talk to me enough. I don't need to talk to you no more today. Talk to me tomorrow. Call me tomorrow. Cause right now you on hold because you don't call me too much today. And I'm like, but I got some more questions. Yep, same till tomorrow. Talk to you tomorrow. Good night. Have a good night. But when you know
And it's
God,
all about that relationship, and people got to understand that they got to have that relationship so that they can
yes,
communicate. Because it's all about communication. You know
yes,
that is one of the most areas where we lack is communication
yes,
in any level. Like people, so caught up on religion, but it's not about religion. It's about
mm-mm.
relationship. You know,
Yep,
because he want his time. He
exactly.
the people we just don't understand. A lot of us really, like, we really truly don't understand how blessed we are, and
Right,
how much the enemy, not just the devil, because the devil didn't get kicked out by himself. Remember when
right.
he got
He had
kicked out,
company.
when he got kicked out, one third of heaven went with him. So
Exactly. He
one
had some
third of
company.
heaven went with him. So guess what? Them same one third is walking around here. Them same demonic devils. They
Hmm.
walking around here too, mad too, because they wanted to know why they mess up. Why did he mess up one time and get kicked out?
Uh-huh.
And he keep giving us infinity. He keep giving
Exactly.
us chance after chance. He don't give us a second chance. He don't. Some of us wrote that second chance off 100,000 times ago.
Exactly.
We wore that out. We did wore that out. He keep giving us another chance. Why? Because he want to
Exactly.
see us succeed. He want to see us thriving. He want to see us walking in that he have already preordained for us. It's no coincidence. That's why I keep telling people there's no accident. There's no coincidence. No happenstance. No none of that. Everything is
Nuh-uh.
even the stuff that we think that is coming against us. It's not that it's
Exactly.
coming against us. Sometimes we got to go through something in order for us to be able to tell somebody. If you don't have a test, how can you give a testimony?
Exactly. You
Not
can't.
always. It don't come to break you. Like I keep telling people, like, girl, when I tell you, I was telling you before we went live.
Mm-hmm.
I keep downloading stuff in my spirit, like that word fire, that word flame. Like people
Mm-hmm.
don't understand what those words truly mean. And like that flame that's on the inside of us when he breathed that breath of life into us, Genesis 2:7. Now he breathed the
Yep.
breath of life into us.
And that's
Like
true.
we
It's
don't
one of the
need
things
we
that
don't
I
need
was
an alarm clock. We don't need
no.
CPR. We don't need to wake us
God woke
this
us
morning.
up this morning. He
That's
woke
it.
us up with a purpose. I was going to a interview not too long ago, and I had to use my GPS. And this is one thing, and this is what I was telling one of the people after I finished going through. I was going to look at a house also, and I was telling the lady, I was like, we get to I've lived in Spartanburg my whole life, but I got to use GPS. I said, but as I was doing the GPS and getting to my destination, you always think about the GPS signal doesn't know exactly that the traffic conditions. It just knows how to get you from point A to point B. And you may know a shortcut around the way that the GPS is taking you if you're familiar with the area in which you're going. But what God was telling me in that moment is that I'm your GPS, and no matter where you're going in this life, you may want to reroute, and you may even reroute to go another way, but you're always going to come back to the will in which I had for you anyway. You just going to get lost because you're going to reroute yourself, but my will is always going to be there because you're going to come back to the direction in which I have for you. So you may stray if you want to, and I was like, God, you know what? I didn't go the way that I was gonna go, but I paid attention to the GPS that day, and I didn't go off course. And I was like, as long as I stay on the course that you have for me, I will always be guided by God's direction. So your service for me is always gonna be where you want me to be and when you want me to be there. And I say all the time, yeah, it is no coincidence. It's always by God's design. The path in which He has for us is always going to be that path. It may take a detour here and there, but as long as we are focused on what God is intended for us to do, we will never be off track. We will never lose the course because God's destiny is for us in any given moment, any given time, because it was already written for us. So that GPS, sometimes you're gonna hear it say rerouting. Just understand
Mm-hmm.
that even if it is rerouting, you're
Something
still
came up.
yeah, what God has for you.
Something came up. Something came up, and that's just like that's when Latanya show come in place.
Mm-hmm.
Delayed but not denied, because sometimes things
Exactly.
may be delayed because the GPS, it, like you say, don't account for traffic, and then sometimes it will account for traffic and it will reroute you too. It may have you
Exactly.
on another route, but then it may come up, and then it also will let
Brings
you
you
know if
back to
something is
course.
ahead. It'll let you know if something is ahead. It'll let you know if danger, like a
A
stalled
car
car.
accident. Yep.
It'll tell you if there's a speed trap. I mean,
Yep.
it informs you of things that may delay you, things
Yep.
that may get you off track. And then if they got to defer you, detour you, it's gonna deter you and tell you, it'll give you alternate routes. And that's what he
Yep.
do. That's what free will come in place.
Exactly.
When we make the choice, like he already got it mapped out. Whew, thank you, Holy
Yeah.
Ghost. He
Yep.
already got it mapped out. And he got it
Amen.
mapped out for us. So when we going through this journey, we can decide that we want to go left, or we can decide that
Right.
we want to go right. But he got the straight path mapped out for us. If we veer left,
Exactly.
are we there right? We got to know the consequences of going left. We got to know the consequences of going right are not going to
Right.
be the same as going straight. So if you choose to go left or you choose to go right, you got to be willing to accept those consequences. So I'm telling you,
Exactly.
you better stay on the straight and
Stay the
narrow.
course.
Sometimes we veer, and when we do veer, he extends his grace and his
Yes.
mercy to allow us an opportunity to get back on track. So
Amen.
I thank God for this time
Yep.
that we have had. He knew what we needed tonight. Would be
Amen. He
tuned in
did.
tonight. He knew everything that would be taking place. So it's no coincidence that Triveda had that Patrice had to go be with her baby tonight at the parades because
Mm-hmm.
he knew that you was gonna step in, and he
Yeah.
knew what the conversation would be about, and he knew that I needed to be here tonight to talk about my cousin on his
Yeah.
birthday. Happy birthday, Tony.
Happy birthday. God always knows, and if we're obedient, no matter what the circumstances may be, God always knows everything in ahead of time. And that's why my tagline is always stay out of God's business. Because God knows exactly what He needs from us. All He needs us to do is be obedient to what He's calling us to do. And if you can be obedient to what God is telling you to do, you'll never fall short of what He's telling you. You'll never fall short and you'll never miss what's for you anyway. And a lot of times we get so caught up in, okay, well, God, this didn't happen for me right now. Why is it happening? It ain't your time. It ain't your season. Your season may be filled with hardships. Your hard time may be a moment of darkness. It may be some of those things that you got to go through. You may have to be buried in the dirt, but you gotta blossom from that dirt. Even when people are putting all kind of stuff on your name or whoever you are, your dark season is ready for your blossoming. You got to be covered in some darkness. You got to be covered in some things in order for God to use you. God doesn't call the qualified. He qualifies the call. And so when
Hmm.
you know who God is calling you to be, you will always
That's
be
it.
qualified. You will never be unqualified because God knows who He created you to be. Each and everything that you do is not a mystery to Him. It is all God's way. No way, not man's way. Man got a lot to say, but man ain't right. So,
Amen. Amen. I tell you, I truly enjoyed the conversation on tonight. I thank him for allowing us this space to be able to share. I pray that those that have tuned in or those that will hear the replay will be blessed by something that we've shared on
Yes.
here tonight. Um, Thank you for for allowing me to come on and share. Um,
Yes, ma'am.
Truly, truly. I don't count it lightly whenever I get the opportunity to be on you guys' show. I always have to give a shout out to all of the amazing hosts over here on the Crew Podcast. If you if this is your first time tuning in, please don't make it your last time tuning in because there are
Mhm.
some amazing hosts here on the Crew Podcast. There's 8 amazing queens that I tell you, I have truly enjoyed getting to know over these last 2 seasons. We're getting ready to wrap up season 2 and heading into season 3. Excited about that. Excited about this new platform that we're going to be using. Excited about being able to, be a voice to those that may not have a voice or feel that they're voiceless. So I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited.
I'm
I
excited.
want you to share with those that are tuned in how they can tune in, what days they can tune in to hear you, and how they can support your brand.
Okay, well, listen about me. I'm Triveda Harris. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. I also have a publishing business. It's called Wings of Transformation Publishing. You can tune in to Believe in the Journey podcast every second Sunday and fourth Thursday of each month at 8 o'clock. But me in a whole, I am only 4'8", but I am big in spirit. So don't let the small statue fool you, because God made me mighty in a small package. And I talk about how big I am in spirit. So if you've tuned in once, you'll tune in again, because I keep you coming back, because I know how God works. And so I'm silly. I love to have a good time. Like I told y'all in the beginning, don't pay no attention to the little bark that I got, which is this cough. So it'll be gone after a while. But I thank you guys for tuning in. You can find me, like I said, on Facebook. If you want to remember how to say my name, I'm gonna tell you this. This is going to be very, very cheesy. So remember the Velveeta cheese, okay? Like I said, it's cheesy. If you can say Velveeta, you can say Triveda. So that's how you'll remember my name. It's cheesy, but you'll never forget it. All right. But before I close out, I have to say my tagline, which I already said it before, and that is stay out of God's business. The only thing God needs you to do is be obedient to what He's called you to do. So if you want to find me, know where to find me: Facebook, Instagram, all the same. Love y'all. Thank you.
Amen. Amen. Y'all have a good night, and we thank you guys for tuning in. Patrice said, "Thank you, ladies." You had a lot of comments tonight. There was a lot of people commenting. I want to thank them for tuning in. Y'all
Yeah.
have a good night. We appreciate you guys. We couldn't do it without you guys. Y'all, good night.